I want to see. Connection's good. Let's go to... I want to see my lips move. Let's go open up Watch's Garage and listen and see. We go live, but you won't see it there. Manage videos. Why is that so bright? Well, why is it in delay? Is that like a lot of delay? It seems like it. Why is it delaying? Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check 1, 2, 3. I think it's on this. Hold on. It could be on this guy. Let's move you to here for now. Now I'm going to move you over here. Go full screen so I can look into it. Check 1, 2, 3. Check. All right, here's Mike. Mike input delay setting. Ow, how weird is that? Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3. That's real close. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's real close. Wow, that's actually really close. All right, let's leave this up. I'll minimize you for now. All right, that's that. Okay, now let's go over to here. Where did I put that? Oh, fuck me. I always do this. Let's minimize that for now. But why is it doing that? Let's edit it. Well, that should work. Mic off. All right, just getting ready. Setting up. And I want to do a bunch of stuff. All right, let's check. I'm going to be checking lip sync. All right, let me come in. We'll do this shot first, maybe. Yeah, we'll do that shot. What's up, everybody? So, fair warning. All right, yeah, that's not too bad. The lighting's okay. So, we're testing the system, doing some computer stuff. I want to show some stuff. So, fair warning. It's not my usual show, and it's not my usual content. That's why I really need to start like another channel, to be fair, right? But the title is the title. Stop in and say hi. Say hi to Mater and Blood Nose. What's up, guys? Yeah. I know Mater might like this because I know Mater, I know you like, you know, the computer stuff and everything. By the way, how's your computer project going? I know that just like me and a lot of us that you're trying to balance all these crazy, like, these are like more big ticket item purchases. What they used to call them, like, not just a big ticket, but the durable goods, right? And it's hard. Definitely is, you know. But, yeah, as I know you're into that and cameras and stuff to some degree. I mean, the way I generally like to talk about this stuff is a little bit more on the easy and simple side. But that's kind of why I'd like to get into maybe like another channel or something. But this is the channel I have. And although, you know, I like to get a little technical. I mean, it's fun to show what I'm doing and what I have. So I'm going to look to see if I'm in sync. I'm going to bring up myself. Maybe I'll just leave it here. I'll just leave it here. It looks a little bit better. Let me listen to myself real quick. Yeah, that's better. It's close. All right, I'll show you what I did. So, last night, yeah, all those problems. Yeah, shit's expensive. Yeah, Blood Nose, absolutely. I'll be checking in periodically because, you know, I do that anyway. I try to catch up with the chat, but I'm also going to be focused in as well on what I'm doing and what I'm showing. And that's why, like in the title, it says, and it's an old X-79 chipset with, you know, Intel with the 12 core I just put in. I was running the 6 core. And to catch everybody up before I start running media, because I'm going to run a little bit of the regular show type stuff, you know, once to test it. So I do the synthetic testing, benchmarks and stuff, and stress testing. I did a bunch of that today after I worked on the machine, and I'll show you what I did to the machine. But, you know, that stress testing stuff, it takes a while, but it's synthetic. It's like bench racing. Oh, my car's faster than your car. I got 700 million horsepower, and, you know, Chryslers are better than Chevys and Fords found on road dead, and you don't know, and I just bought more horsepower. Yeah. Man, this is, I need to get up in the storage of my garage and get down the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU so I can install it on the ROG Strix B550F motherboard. Yeah, I got one coming, bro. All right, so you have the Ryzen 7, so you have the one above the one I have. I sold a server to my buddy, and it was the 8-core, I don't know, I'll look at the pics later, but it was the 8-core, the one that I should have stayed with the lawsuit because I could have got my money back because there's that class action lawsuit on the AMD 8-core. They claimed it was 8 cores, and then they claimed speed, and a lot of people maligned it. And it's on, I forget what chipset it's on. It'll be here soon. My buddy Matt bought it from me when I was going broke and everything. I used to use it as my server for serving games, game server and stuff like that. So just get it before Taiwan gets invaded. Totally, bros. Seriously, that's like a subject for another show. No kidding. The way our government is behaving, I think they're going to go for Iran. They're going to go to backdoor to Iran. They'll do Lebanon. They'll do, but they want to get involved in another war. They want all these wars, Anyway, that's another story. But regardless of whether we like it or not, if they start going after, like, Taiwan and China and everything, we're shut down. I mean, we're like in austerity mode. Not that it would be a terrible thing, but it would suck. Okay, in a way, yeah, it would be a terrible thing. And if you're into like getting your camera gear up and your computer gear, like Bloodnose says, get it now. So anyway, so I have the 8-core, and I used it for like I used to do a lot of code. And serving like Daisy Epoch on Arma 2, Arma 3, and a bunch of other games that I ran servers on. And I cut the code, modified it, and we'd play. And I actually have another, they're called servers, and then you have the server box. So just to be clear, so if I'm talking about the server box with the AMD CPU and everything in it, versus the server, which is a whole shitload of files that essentially runs these games so you can get online and do multiplayer. So I've got, between Arma 2 and Arma 3 alone, I've got over 10,000 hours. I had to give it up. Like, I screwed up. I got this big lump on my knuckle here. I screwed up my wrist, carpool tunnel. It went into my elbow, up into my shoulder, it still hurts right there. Anyway, I would like to play it a little bit again. So I sold, when I really went broke, like the divorce and all that, I sold a lot of my shit. And honestly, I was getting tired of it. So Matt grabbed it. My buddy Matt Visceral, he was on here once. He's the one that hooked me up with a drive and this headset. He wants to give me the box. I built a nice box, Antec 900 case. This is the 1200 case you'll be looking at soon. And put it on an Asus Aura, I forget. Nice board. I forget the chipset, but we'll find out soon. If I log in, hold on. I'll log in here. Since we're talking a little bit about that, I'm going to log in to Discord. And here it is. I'll bring it up on the right monitor. Let me cue it. Here's Discord. And I'll tell you what it is. Let's see. Where is it? It's in... I'm in his Discord server right now because he put up pictures of it. Important stuff it's probably in. I'm going to have to scroll up. Yeah, it's getting there. Because he just built a new computer. A nice one. And I sold him this server box a bunch of years ago. And he's been using it. I overclocked it. I'll show you the overclocks, too. We're going to find out in a minute, because he took pictures. So I said, hold on to it, because I'm a little broke. I got to give you some money. He's like, I don't want any money. I'm like, Visceral, it's going to cost you like $100 or something to ship the damn thing, right? It's all built. I'm like, I got to give you something. I got to cover the shipping, give you a little bit more. All right, where is it? I'm trying to find it. I know I was just looking at it, but it since has moved. It should be here. I'm going to come back down to the bottom. Yeah, let me show you his Discord channel. Because you can go on it. Let's see. We'll change to the right monitor. That's his Discord. Because I'm going to show you the pic anyway. Which is on here. All right, so hold on to your eyes, fellas. I'm going to scroll fast. Let's see if I can catch it. That's the new computer he built. I forget what's in it, but he was showing that. So, and that's the inside. He didn't take very good pictures, did he? Nice I/O, right? Big video card. I forget what he has, like a 2090 something, 20 something, 2070. And, you know, I've been helping him, teach him this stuff over the years, and he's gotten good. I taught him a lot about running servers and stuff, so he like took over. And he's doing good. He's learned a lot. He's experimented on his own. The best thing is to teach people in a way that they can go and experiment on their own. Two reasons. One, they stop bothering you so much. And second, it's better, because if you teach somebody something in a way that they can go do, this is just all game shit, and his foot. It's in here somewhere. Oh, that's cool. He built that. That's his setup. Or at least it was. This might be before he moved out into his apartment. That's nice. Let's see. Sorry, fellas. Because Meta gets me off on a tangent, which is fine because part of the test is like a duration test. I want to make sure, the stream. That's why I say stop in, right? Because I want to make sure the stream can handle it. So I'm not seeing it. It's in one of his... I keep yelling at him, like, you've got all of these channels in your Discord server. And what good are they? Because I can't see anything. I thought it was important stuff. It's not in server stuff. I don't think it's in any... It's not going to be in any of those. Last time I found it by going to the top, and then I just clicked here. And I just kept doing this. And it came across. Nice planes. And I caught it. So I can't find anything on your Discords. And you've got so much junk. Get rid of some of the... I don't see it. Get rid of some of this crap. It's brutal. Yeah, so I'm just going to let it run. I'll show a bunch of stuff. Hang out, chat. Say hey to anybody that wants to drop in. You see what's inside. Intel's inside. Remember that one? I don't think they say that anymore. I don't think you see that on any of their logos. I don't know. I haven't noticed. That's his. I remember it was like right around this time, him and Rage, his friend Rage. Yeah, that's the game, DayZ mod. So I don't think it's in that channel. I don't think it's going to be in a DayZ channel server. Could be in server stuff. That's just code. It's here. He has it somewhere. I don't think he would have taken it down. All the other things that is left, he wouldn't have taken it down. No, it's here somewhere. It's just a couple of shots. But now, of course, so I'm looking for it, and I can't find it. We'll go back to important stuff. It can't be that far. Because it's right before he bought his server. I mean, his computer. Hold on, because my brain is split right now. That's the Metro game. I want to get that one. They're like, it's coming in 2020. Yeah, well, when is it coming in 2024? I don't play too many games because I think they're silly. But there's some that I like, for sure. Of course, they're silly too. I just don't think they're silly. Come on, come on. Where is this damn picture? It's also some screenshots of some tests. All right, if I can't find it, then I'm done. What the hell would he have done with it? Because I was just looking at the damn thing. Oh, let's see. You're viewing older messages. Yeah. Resource issue. Where is Matt? If he was on, I'd ask him, but he's not on. He's probably with his old lady. If I go too fast, I could skip over it. Oh, well. Anyway, we'll come back to this. Oh, that's funny. What system is that? Yeah, it's not going to be up this far. I'll look for it later. Let me come back. Let me minimize this. Anyway, let's see. Let me catch up. Catch up to everybody. See what everybody's doing. Let's see. Shit's expensive. Yeah. So that's cool shit, mate. We'll talk about that again. Yeah. Climb up on that attic, bro. Definitely. That's what I'm doing. I want to show this server that I'm getting too. The server box. And I'm going to set it up as a server. I'm going to set it up as one for the game, two for backup as what they call a network attached storage for all of these videos that I have, because I just have local backups, and you'll see the hard drives in a minute. And, for a number, like running a virtual machine and a sandbox to testing so I don't get screw myself again and get hacked. That kind of stuff. And for fun. And for like $100, I'm going to tell him I have it when I talk to him tomorrow night. And I'll be like, bro, we didn't really talk price. Like I said, he didn't want anything. So I'm just like, bro, $100, cool, I'll Venmo. And he'll get a chance at some point this week. Because he's like, I'm all right. He's good. Been a few weeks since I told him. Because he asked me first. It's easier for him, too, because he doesn't want to sell it like at Facebook Marketplace. He's not that kind of a person. He doesn't like that stuff. Let me see what you guys doing. I give you for Taiwan. This is like watching an old Japanese Godzilla movie. Cool. I know, right? Blood knows the sound was always off in Godzilla, right? Yeah. It should be better now, right? Because when I look in, when I peek in on myself, and the whole show is in a lag. I mean, I know it is because I can tell. And that's me there. I have to move me over to this monitor, otherwise it'll freak out. It'll just keep freaking out, right? Well, let me move me. Yeah. Now let me see. Let me see if I can see. I'm gonna listen to it. Let me refresh it. You can't see it. Oh, there's an ad. I'm muted for a minute. I gotta wait. I've been checking it, and I'll show you what I think it is. I adjusted it. Now I gotta wait. Oh, it's another commercial. Hold on, I can click past this one. Here we go. Let me listen for a second. Yeah, that's pretty close. At least from what I'm seeing. And I can still adjust it. All right, let me mute it. And I'll show you. Let's see, we'll come back to there. Let's see, Maida says this computer, your computer is running, he says his computer is running the Ryzen 5 5600. Yeah, that's a nice processor. See, I need a new computer, but as I said, Bloodnose said, it's expensive. And by the way, my keyboard just died, okay? This thing here. And I took it apart last night and cleaned it. What's wrong with it? It's old. Can you see it? If I take my arm away. It's close enough. So this is the A10, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's old. And what I like about it, what's broken on it is on the number pad, it's the dash or the negative, but it works on the other keys up top and the escape key, which that's fucked up because I need the escape for a lot of things. So I got a backup over here, wireless until just an old Logitech wireless, old school. I need a new mouse. Logitech stuff is crap. It burns out. We were talking about this on Maida Show one night. It's like, but okay, when I got it many years ago, I had to fix the volume scroll. It's a scroll wheel, physical scroll wheel. And they didn't solder it right. So I had to take it apart as soon as I got it. Anyway, it's been good to me for a long time. What I like about it is the macro keys on the left-hand side. I don't use most of them, but I use a few of them. Instead of these multi-press shortcuts, and this is for video editing, I just hit one of like 3 or 4 keys. And you get used to where they are, and you just hit them. And then you right mouse and you hit them. Right mouse, do your thing, hit them. Right? And it's better than anything else. And these are a lot cheaper than anything that's like for video editing. So, yeah. So Crispin says, yeah, he's out of here. Well, just stop. Yeah, I'm glad he stopped in. Yeah, that's why I say, like, I need another another channel because, but I'd say it's a computer test in the title and everything. So, been fair warning to everybody. So yeah, fair warning, because it's mostly going to be about my computer tonight because I'm doing this test. And a lot of people aren't going to like it. Well, let me refresh the studio page because it gets out of sync. Let's see. Robert says, Sunday night live stream with Uncle Archie. Uncle Mark says, he says, hi all. He says, all good here in Manitoba. Bad fire in Jasper, Alberta. 1/3 of the resort town gone from fire. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, we're getting some fires too. Every year they get them. Yep. That's horrible. I get some more water in a little while. So I figured, I'll show some stuff, run a few things, and I want to see how much of it I can push it. Last night, after the show, I made a couple of adjustments, and then what I did was while I was just hanging out here, because I'm like, that show, it's going to get, it got cut off, right? 2 of them. And like, I'm not going to do another one. I said, but I do want to make a couple of changes, fool around a little bit, and I got the idea of, well, why don't you just run it in private? And then sit here, as a test. Sit here with everything you would have up live, doing a live show, but then run it through up to YouTube, make a couple adjustments, stress the system out, but keep it private. And watch, go watch some YouTube stuff and sit here. And I left the mic open so that, I didn't have a headset on, but I left the mic open because I wanted to see, let the audio come through. I just saw a glitch. So that's another thing I'm testing for, is the glitching, okay? So I let the mic run through, and that's another test. You want the audio coming through. So I just left put the speakers on so I could hear it without a headset. Sit back, leave the microphone on, let it play, keep an eye on it, and I was watching the connection. Connection was solid. I was out of sync, but I'll show you that in a minute. And I was just kind of letting everything do its thing, and it seemed fine. But I knew there was still a problem, and I'll get to that. Now, let me show you the sink, the kitchen sink. So let's go over to that. Right monitor. So you guys have seen me show this before. So this is the ATEM control. So it looks like a regular mixer. It does mostly audio, and it's in that box I said was on my table with the blinky lights on the right. And that's what that box is. Audio does the audio and cameras, and it's got 4 slots. So 4 input out. It's got 1 output but 4 inputs. By the way, I'm going to connect my other computer to this. The display out into here, into that switcher. I'll show it again in a minute. So, generally speaking, when I go audio through the camera, or over here on the left where my mouse is going, where you see the bars moving, but they're in gray, this is when the audio comes through the camera. And, it's the microphone on the camera, or if you plug a mic into the camera, the audio can be controlled from here if it's plugged into the computer or whatever, into this ATEM. And you can have the ATEM. By the way, you can actually stream from the ATEM. You don't even need a computer or anything else. There's a model above this that will do it. It'll actually stream to 2 places, too. So that's where that audio would be controlled. But the audio, when I do a live stream at the desk, what I like to do is plug the mic into the ATEM box and not use the audio from the camera. Not plug the mic into the camera. And that way, I can control it differently, and it's just a better way of doing it. However, there can be a delay, and there is. And it's on this input, this red input here. So that's where it is. And this is where you adjust it. And I'll show you the little setting. And, you're guessing. You see the little knob? This is, it's about 1 to 2 second delay. Most people will say anywhere between 1 millisecond and 2.5 milliseconds, typically. So I'm about go shy of 2 milliseconds. And I'll play around with that, but this is where the setting is. I've never had to do it before, but this kind of software allows you to do it. And the delay is a mismatch between the box, and I'll show you the box. Let me close this out once again. So the box here, this one, so this box, yeah, that is Black Magic Designs. Black Magic Design. They make this thing, and they make DaVinci Editor, which I'm using, and I've been wanting to buy it, but everything else keeps coming up. They make cameras, they make all kinds of stuff. So the audio's going into here, not into the camera. So that's largely where the delay is from. But it's never done that before. But things are different now because of the router, the new router. And I changed some of the wiring, and that box is also on my network. So I can not only get to it from the USB-C on the back, and you'll see the connector that I had to add, but I can get to it from the network, which means I can control it from my phone, or I can control it from my laptop, and anywhere I have network access. So that's kind of neat. It gives you the ability to do different things and more things with it. And I do. I can set my cameras up, run the cameras into the computer, and I can switch the cameras. Let's say I'm over by the workbench or something. I can just switch the cameras. If I'm using more than one camera, I can adjust things and make adjustments and switch literally right there. Like either from my phone now or from the laptop. While I'm standing there, I have to walk back over here, try to look to see, is that right? Oh, is the mic right? Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do when you're in more of like a studio environment. All right, let me minimize that. Over here. See some Sunday night live stream. I'm going to do it. Fix the channel. Dale Hill. Oh, hey, Dale. What are you doing? So, I figured I'll run a couple of things. Let my cigarette go out, which is good. Let me bring up some of those pics, and I'll run a little bit of that audio because it was lagging as well. So I moved a bunch of things around, and I'm looking to see if there's any glitching. If I don't bang the table too much and don't bang on the floor, because there could always be a loose cable or something not right. Let's make sure nothing's like hanging or anything. And I'm just going to keep my eye open because this setup is more closer to what I did a month or so ago when I was having all that video glitching, and I traced it down to the placement of these expansion cards. These are the NVMe drives and the USB-C adapter, so I could have USB-C for the ATEM and someday for other things, but I only have one right now. So let me open up that software. And we'll scroll through a little bit. Partially to kill time, you know. And just to make it a little bit different. Let's see, where can I start? Oh, we'll start with this thing. What the hell is this thing? I'm going to leave the audio on, too. As a check for feedback and such. And the other thing I want to do is... Hold on. I want to move you guys so I could see you guys. I want to move you to another window. Okay. So I could see you guys in case somebody says something. Let me shrink it down a little bit. There we go. It's a little cleaner for me. Yeah, let's see this thing. I'll leave the audio on. I'll turn the mic up. Yeah, mic is up. Hold on. Hold on, gotta set it up. I'll move it to... Nope, that's not the one I want. And that thing, ugly, it fell out of the sky, literally, in here. Let's use speakers, USB 3 audio device. Yeah, that should work. Let's see, let's find out.
All of a sudden, it was like, it fell.
Oh, it's doing that again. I wonder why it's doing that. So that's me. I might have to shut that off. Monitor and output, that should be fine. Yeah, that's another, I see, that's a different problem. And that we had that the other day, yeah, and I didn't know it was something that was going to be continuous. So now I know I have another problem to fix. That's all right. We don't have to have audio running on this. Let's see. Now, some of the inputs did change. And NVIDIA high definition audio. It's the only choice I really have. Yeah. So it's having an issue. Let me mute it. No, that's something else to fix. There's an update for OBS, and I just didn't want to use it because I didn't want to screw anything up. Look at that thing. That's just nasty on levels. All right, I'll let it play a little bit. Quick peek inside. Let me turn it down a little bit. Let's see now. Now I haven't. This is all raw, so I'm just going to kind of scroll through it to see what it is, because you can't hear me narrate over it. So, well, you can't hear the original narration because it's messed up. That's a good shot. That's kind of a good shot. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good. So those silvery things towards the right, upper right, those are the two new hard drives that I bought. So they're actually running in RAID. And so I have to be careful what I do because I don't want to screw up the motherboard or do anything too rash or have to press a factory reset, load optimize defaults, because I could screw this up. And I don't want to screw that up. They're in a mirror, so as soon as my cameras unload, they unload into those drives and they're copied immediately. And this is the Asus W9 X79. Well, it's WS X79 something. It's a workstation motherboard. So these would have been very expensive. And like the 12-core processor I just put in, that was $1,500 back in the day underneath this this monstrosity of a CPU cooler. And you could see the video card. You could just about see the other expansion cards down here. And we'll get to that in a minute. So this is what I was running last night. And this is part of the problem. Is the video card needs to be up in the top slot. Not because that's traditional, but because it uncovers two other slots and only covers over one slot. And the slot that it covers over, I don't want and don't need if I move the card. Where it is now is it's covering over the slot that I do need, exposing the slot I don't want. So I need to reverse it. And I found that this causes glitches if I keep the stuff in this orientation. So I'm just laying out these. This is the NVMe, one of the NVMe drives on a riser board. And this board is capable of one NVMe and an M.2 SATA. So that's what I have to move. I have to move that guy. Let's see. And here's the SATA connectors down there. So you can see how close everything is. And there's one slot right there for another drive of some kind. Right, and there's the 12-core that we're on right now. And that's 4-channel RAM. That's not 2-channel RAM. So whatever RAM you put in it, whatever speed you put in, let's say it's 2,000 megahertz. It is DDR3, so it's older. But in 4-channel, you could multiply that. So it'll be like 4,000 megahertz RAM today. It was way ahead of its time. But this would have been a very expensive board, workstation board. And there's 64 gigabytes of it on that motherboard, which is huge, especially for the day. So all of this was very expensive, which is why I still have it. 2 reasons. One, it's really expensive. That's why I can't afford to get it again. And it works. Like, it didn't burn out. And it didn't, like, get beat and old right away, like a lot of regular motherboards and, you know, computers get. So I took this stuff out. There's one of my extra drives. That's just a 4 terabyte, and I have one in that pack. I had to move it to move the video card. So there's another one, an 8 terabyte Western Digital Blue. So I'm just going to swap that out of my way. And here we go. Now I've moved the video card up, and I had to rotate the cooler. Couldn't keep the cooler the way it was because there wasn't enough room to even put the clips on for the fans. So the SSDs are up top. There's 2 of them. There's 2 operating systems. They're basically similar to each other. So you can see the clips. There was just no room to put the clips on. So everything blows up to the top. In the front, it comes in through filtered air, goes out the back and out up the top. And it seems to be running very cool. It's only 91 degrees right now. 102, the hottest core. Let's see what else we got. Let's see, how long am I running for? Almost an hour. And I haven't seen any real glitches. I want to go back to this one here. Let me see something. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let me go forward a little bit. So I moved the cards, those expansion cards. The USB-C is in its same spot. Yeah, there's the other one peeking over there. So if you look, you can see it. There's another blue slot. That's a 16X slot. So there's 40 lanes on this processor. It's like a highway. And all of this stuff connects to those lanes, predominantly. So the 2 blue slots are 16X. So you can put a video card in either one of those. And I moved it up to the top, the primary slot. I had it towards the bottom. By moving it up towards the top, it exposes one black slot that you can't use. It's actually a gray slot. It looks white, but it's gray. A blue slot that we can't use. A gray slot and a black slot that is being used by one of the NVMEs. So the 2 NVMEs are on the bottom slot. So those black slots are 8X. So if you've got, there's 2 black slots there, they're 8X multipliers. So they run at 8X, not 16X. And the NVMEs and the USB-C takes up 4 of those slots. So you've got 2 NVMEs, that's 8. So you got 16 and 8, okay? Well, that doesn't leave you with much. That's, what is that, 20, 16 and 8, 24, right? That leaves me with like 8. If that much. Well, a 4 is also being used. Another 4 is being used by the USB-C. So that doesn't leave me very much. And once you use that up, then you have to share with something. And that's what that big silver chip does down there. So the blue and the black slots go directly to the processor. The gray slots go to that chipset, that extra chipset that's called a multiplexer. And it borrows and steals like a Dickens. It tries to pair off and find some open resources. And it does it really fast. And because there's only 40 lanes. And then you have USB, regular USB 2.0, USB 3.0, et cetera, et cetera. So they all take up more of those lanes. And I have to use at least one of those stealing lanes in order to pull this off to the multiplexer. Otherwise, I'll have glitching. There's not enough resources. Or I'll reduce the speed of my video card down by half. Theoretically, okay? It'll cut it down to an 8X instead of a 16. So there's these considerations that you have. Now, that gets a little technical, and for those that maybe watch it later, then, you know, they'll probably get it. Some of you may understand what I'm saying. but you can, there's a better look. So it's, and all of those drives, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drives. So there's no more drives I can plug into this thing. And then I get the 2 NVMe drives. Well, that's 8. And a USB-C. And that's it. I can't put any more in. That's why it struggles with like glitching and doing weird stuff. Although I gotta say the video's playing smooth. Last night it didn't want to play smooth. You can't hear it because I can't let you hear it because it'll sound like a toilet. I'll fix that. That's a supporting bracket I made because they sag and then they burn out. Let's see, is there another one? That's the last shot of it. That's what it looks like. It looks like now. And you can see the cars a little bit better. See the layout. It's big. It's heavy, too. That's not bad. I'm coming back. Okay, let me minimize that. Let's see here. Yeah, you guys don't see anybody left. It's like probably like 2 people. That's cool. So, yeah, that's that. And I grabbed a couple of pictures. Does that look cool? It's a nice looking setup. And it runs pretty good. Other than the audio issue I just had. So what I'll do in a little while, I'm just going to run a little bit longer. I want to get past an hour. I'll let it run a little bit longer, and then when I get off, I'm going to update OBS and then troubleshoot why the audio sounds like that. Figure out maybe if there's something else that needs to be updated. Maybe it's just some kind of weird interlinking. I still have a number of things to do. There's a lot to do. It takes a long time to do all this stuff. And you have to find the time. So like today, I'm like, well, I'm really tired, but I might as well just spend a little bit of time with the computer and fool around it. Move some stuff around, unplug everything. You know, it's a process. And then I wanted to try out a few other things, a few other little tweaks in the BIOS. And for a 10-year-old system, it's pretty good. I mean, this is 10 years old, and it's doing all of this. I did earlier, I did a test. Let me show the test, I guess. Let's minimize this. Yeah, here we go. So yes, I do test stuff with your typical software and some of your non-typical software. The only bad thing about that headset is that it hurts my ears if I don't put it on right. And the benchmark just completed, so later on I want to grab a snapshot of this. And this is... I'm going to leave that open. So this is Puget Benchmark. And they work with DaVinci Resolve, the DaVinci team and stuff. They build a lot of computers, very high-end workstation computers, similar to what I have, but now, in the now. And they make a lot of money, and these systems are 20 grand, 5, 10, 15, 20 and up. They build them for video editors, but for other things as well. A lot of high-end applications. People need that stuff, modeling, processing, math, all kinds of stuff. And they have a benchmark, and so I ran a benchmark, and it's very stressful. It does a lot of 4K encoding and stuff. And I ran this, I don't know, hour ago, 2 hours ago, I don't remember now. So I want to capture this. And that score actually is not too bad for a simple system. I'll show a Cinebench score. There's some 12-core tests. Let's see. It's Puget. High clock 8350. Stockish move 84. 8468. And here's one that was 8501. So that one was pretty good. Let's take a look at this one. And this is for the nerds in case they come across. And you could see it. This is its ranking, 8501. That's this system. That's my processor. It's a CPU E5 2697 version 2. Version 2 is for the DDR3. Version 3 of this processor, which is just a little bit later, got the DDR. It was the first of the higher end like processors. They got DDR4. That was like maybe a year after I bought my system, the motherboard, and all the stuff that I did all those years ago. So I just picked up this processor. $50. And you could see it's right below. And if it was an active thing, you'd see it, but it's literally right here. It's like right below the AMD Ryzen 7 1700X 8-core, and then the Intel i9. And the differences are very small. In fact, if I minimize that, so that's a test from, I don't know, a couple of days ago. There's a date on it. And depending upon like when so this is FutureMark Puget Bench. So that's a slightly different thing. But if I run, I don't want to run it now because that would really stress the hell out of it. But you could see the scores are pretty high. When you run the bench, you can lay your cursor over it, and it just gives you a metric. And typically, I'm maybe 1.05% below these scores until you get into Threadripper, which is a whole nother animal. So oddly enough, I mean, if you want to consider the Intel Core i9 9880H and the Ryzen 7 1700X 8-core as being higher end in roughly in today's world, I'm not that far behind. I'm only a 1.0 something multiplier below them. And I can't believe that. That's insane. When I first started tuning this processor, I actually came down lower. And you can see down here, these are 11th gen. I'm above that. This i7. But it's trying to rate CPUs or processors into something that it makes sense. Because my CPU really is, it's not a hot rod CPU, it's a server CPU. And right now it's running at Intel Xeon E5 2697 version 2 Ivy Bridge EP/EX LGA 2011, and its frequency is around 34 right here, 34, 35, 33. That's what's running at. That's its voltage. And it's only consuming about 60 watts of power on the CPU. A little bit less. My other processor would be close to its TDP. Maximum temperature you can get this thing is to 201 degrees. And it would throttle before that. And we're nowhere near it. Our max temperatures in Fahrenheit have been 117, 127, 118, 126. Right? That's now. Like that's the highest temperatures it's hit. Right now, it's around 70 degrees, 82 degrees. That's the CPU. So what's nice about it is it runs very, very cool. And this is the video card. It's an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070. So I figured I'll leave this up. We just got past an hour. And if you look here, the 1070 was nice. The 1080 Ti was the godchild, but now this is where one of the problems were. The bus interface here, PCIe 16X 3.0. So this is the 3.0 version. Now they're up to 4 and 5 on the PCIe bus. They're up to 4 and 5. Average, you're going to see 4. Most of the high end is at 4. So this is one of the first motherboards that supported 3X. But right now it's only running at 16 slot, at 16 lanes, but 1-to-1. And we'll see here. You'll see. I'll tickle it. I'm going to just do a quick little render here, and you'll watch it come up. And let me swing this over, and you're going to see it came up to 3.0. Now, that was one of the problems that I was having, because if you stick something else in one of the 16X or two cards in the 8Xs, this will come down to 8 by 3.0 and or 2.0 or 1.0, because it will throttle, but it'll only be at 8. And that was causing some issues. Now, the video card will try to drop off some of that load if it's not under a high load, and this will drop down. But the test is to see, does it go correctly to the right numbers? So is the bandwidth hitting what it's supposed to be at? And it gives you a little pop-up. So it shows the system bus interface of the graphics card and its bandwidth configuration. Power-saving features may affect the results displayed. The graphics card reports that it supports PCI Express by 16X 3.0. It is currently running at PCI Express 16.1.1. Yeah, because it's under no load. It's showing this. They will throttle. And that was one of the things that I liked about this video card, is it would throttle. I'm coming back. So the CPU throttles. I have a power plan. And for those that don't know, I'll bring this over here. So this is like in your laptop. You have power plans. And I could drop the temperatures and the voltages and, of a lot of things. I can reduce the energy consumption, increasing the efficiency just by this power plan on the control panel. A lot of times I'll run it in balanced. Obviously for a live show or for video editing, I want it in high performance. And sometimes I even drop it in power saver if I'm just like mulling around the shop, listening to a YouTube show or something. And what's nice is when you drop it down to the lower power plans, it's power, but I'm out here in the summertime, it gets hot. All of the stuff gets really hot. So as I look over right now in the transitions I'm making, it's moving around, it's throttling a little bit. I have other programs too. I can see what the CPU is doing in other ways, and a lot of times I'll bring those programs up. And of course I run like FutureMark bench tests and Cinebench, and there's all kinds of stuff you can run to test it, and I've got a whole slew of stuff. I tested the 6-core processor 6 ways this Sunday and grabbed images and shots of all of that and put them in folders, and then I put the 12-core in and I tried to get it to run relatively stable and stock speeds, and I took a bunch of benchmarks, and then I started tweaking it. You can't tweak it too far because it's not unlocked. So, but you could, in these kinds of motherboards, these higher end motherboards, there's a lot of settings where you can be more supportive to the processor by giving it the availability of 110, 120% more power if it needs it, more current, more wattage. You just kind of allow it to breathe a little bit more. And you can tweak some of the base clock frequencies, and you could tweak the RAM a little bit. And again, like I said, this is 4-core RAM. So it's actually a 4-channel RAM. It's actually quite snappy and fast for an old processor. And it would probably be about the equivalent of something on a little bit higher end standard desktop today, because they've gotten better. They can do more things. But to really have a better system, you'd need something of an equivalent today to match this. And that's got to be like, I don't know, the cheapest I could figure, I want to say, is well over $2,000. Like you really got to be up there, because you're always going to, maybe 3, because there's going to be things you need that you didn't even think about, and then stuff starts to break, like now, and you're buying peripherals, and I needed a router, and what a nightmare. Just an absolute nightmare. But it can be fun doing this stuff. Oh yeah, it's running pretty stable. I think we got one person left. Yeah, that's what I figured. But it's fun to do a live test. And it'd be nice if I can start like a separate channel for this stuff. But this is the channel I have. And I figured I'd drop in, say hi. It's Sunday night too. Most people want to go to bed because they got to go to work. Unlike Arch, where I'm usually slow on Monday mornings. I slow myself down. Let's see, can we make it to... Yeah, I'll go a little bit longer. Just try to make it a little bit longer. I wonder what that audio issue is. Let me run. Let me run one little piece, a couple pieces here with some video and some audio, and test that as well. Make sure that works. So try to do an all-up test, which is really a full system check. Sounds like it's working. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, it hit 35 megahertz. I've seen it hit 37.
common cooking oil is literally motor oil. Canola oil is everywhere. Restaurants, packaged foods in your pantry. This oil made from seed was used since the Industrial Revolution. Canola was
What'd you do? Oh, so this is over. I'll let it run. I'll have to check it out. No, I'm coming back in a minute. Oh, sweet. I definitely want to see that video. I like the way they did this tune, like the country style. Like it's like kind of like boilerplate. Yummy oil. Oh God, that's awesome. It's kind of like boilerplate, you know, music in a way, like for them. But this, whoever did the job, you know, got the job and did the job and did it for free. Whatever band, they did a good job. You know, I'm a big fan of like commercialism as long as it's not out of hand, because I like to make money and I appreciate it when other people do it and they're really good at it. So Meta says, I just uploaded a video testing out 4 different microphones for the Sony VF1. I would put it on, but I can't because the audio is going to suck. And if my audio is messed up in here, we will not be able to watch your show with your permission. Well, I just do it anyway. But we will not be able to watch it and like play it back. But I definitely want to check that out. Maybe scroll through it. I'm going to watch it tomorrow anyway or later on tonight. It's fun doing that stuff. But that's why I kind of want to create another channel, because it's totally different than even like my live shows. Because my live shows weave in and out, mostly related to what my general show is about. And then I pop up some politics and funny stuff and stupid stuff and angry stuff. And I go on a rant and, you know, live stuff. You know, like your show. You guys do like different stuff and whatever. On a live show, you can get away with a little bit more, I find. I mean, I don't expect a lot out of a live show. You're not going to make any money on it. And I usually leave advertising on or whatever. I think they do that mostly more because it's been said, the concept is that when any advertising you have on, YouTube being as greedy as it is, and same thing with the advertisers, they may tend to nudge you up a little bit. Like, because there was the one show I was talking about maybe last night, the camera guy out in Arizona, the wealthy guy, he doesn't need the money. And he's got plenty of it. He's like, well, why would I want to turn on advertising? He's like, isn't that annoying? And when he was, because a couple of years ago, I went on it, went on his channel and he was building it. Now it's super huge. And everybody said that. They said, if you really want to help people, turn advertising on, because YouTube isn't going to show you. And he was like, all right, well, he took like a poll and he was starting to get a little bit bigger. And everybody said, yeah, go for it, for the most part. And it's not in the way, but I think he leaves a little bit on in the beginning. Sometimes on the end, you really don't see any advertising in the middle, but he just clicked the checkbox. And, I mean, of course it blew up. He's got a hot lady. I mean, he's around my age, a little younger, but, they're good-looking people. He's really smart. What he does with his time now, other than playing with cameras, is he flies and drives all over the place with her so that she could hang out in scantily clad or like really nice outfits, and he just takes pictures of her in movies. That's what he does. That's what he does with his time now in his retirement, because he's in love with her and everything, and she's an attractive woman. I get it. That's not a bad thing to, that's your life. It's so cool. As he made it, he says, I have it set to come out at 5:15 Central in the morning. That's a good time. Nice. You're at 790. Oh, you got to get past. Actually, I'll mention it next week, but I just nudged past 8,000. Just nudged it. I was like, whoa. It's hard, man. It's hard. Especially subs is hard. Well, it's all difficult. None of this is easy. However you do it, it's not. At the end of the day, it's still work. It's still got to. But if you enjoy doing it, but yeah, you just keep at it. Putting out content like that, like what you just did, may be good or may not be good for your channel. I don't think I'd worry about it one way or the other. You need content. I think that's like number one. If you can get some content out. And the lives only take you so far. They're more for fun and hanging out and having a good time and catching up with the peeps and stuff and friends. And it supports the channel, kind of like in a way the shorts do. They're a little bit more aggressive initially, but then they die. And probably the lives die off too, I would think. Unless you had like special guests and you were very popular and your title was something that could last. It's like I know of people that do like news shows, and I've shown Redacted and a few others and a couple that I watch, and it's great being like a video journalist of some kind. It's a lot of work, but if you're really into it and that's what you went to school for, or you just became that kind of a person, that's great. I also watched the Popular Report, right? And he's talked about some of the problems he's had on other channels. You put out content, it's perishable. In those kinds of channels, whatever content you put out is for the now. It's no show. It's a new show about the things going on today. Some of those things might go on a little bit longer, maybe the CV years, and you talk about that, but a lot of those people got banned and thrown out. But let's say it's talking about something that's not particularly really controversial. It might last a little bit longer, but at some point, if it's related to news, it's perishable. Nobody wants to see some old news. That's the thing. So that stuff you got to be churning, as opposed to a lot of the stuff that we do. If you title it right and you could make a decent video, it could last for a really long time, maybe forever. I mean, I don't know if it might be. I mean, I've watched Musty's big, but for a long time, but I've watched some of his old stuff, or some of the old Diesel Creek, or some of the old Watch West work, or some of these other people. I've gone back, and I watched this one guy. He's a Kiwi dude, and I liked what he was doing, out there in the middle of nowhere and on his property with these old machines that they were finding in the area, and he was resurrecting so he could use them on his farm and his property. And And there was a couple of times where I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back to the beginning, and I'm just gonna sit and watch them, and for as long as I feel like, and then I'll pick up another day. And I just binged, semi-binge, and that's kind of rare, but people will do that, and I generally just like the way he is. They're very demure people, though. They're kind of quiet, but generally just liked him. And just wanted to see what he was doing. And I like things that aren't always about, small equipment. I want to see some of the bigger equipment, too, and other stuff. Okay, so congrats, bro. You'll be at 800. 1,000 coming up. Right? When you get to around like 900 and a little higher, like it's so close you could taste it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's brutal. I remember my friend Liz, like, I've told this story before, but I might as well just tell it again to one person. That's awesome. We'll do it if I watch this later on. But, yeah, I was so close to 1,000 subs. And I think I mentioned something to her. And like a day or so later, it was like a day later, I hit like a little bit over 1,000. It was like one person. So, like early morning, I start texting her. I'm like, I'm over 1,000 subs. And she goes, yeah, I know. And I'm not thinking about it. Well, I just saw a glitch. Yep. Well, I may have to swap one of those cards. Just swap them. But I have a couple of different places. By the way, I have a video on the configuration I had that didn't glitch. So I'm going to watch that again. I can just reach on there and do it another day. So she's like, I wasn't thinking, what do you mean, yeah? And I was like, what do you mean, yeah, She's like, well, I couldn't sleep, so I was up. I got up like ridiculously early. I was up most of the night, and I made a whole bunch of, channels, whatever, for myself. And then I subbed. And at first I was like mixed feelings. It was like, I'm like, I wanted to do this on my own. And then I thought, wow, that's a really sweet thing to do. Who would do that for you, That's like really cool. I thought that was really cool. She wanted to be the one that got me over 1,000. So she was watching. And then she asked me one time, like in the very beginning, she's like, because she was working from home. I don't know if she still does. I haven't asked her. I think a couple of times maybe a week. It depends. I know she goes in a lot. And she's got had a little station set up, a laptop and another monitor. And she's like, can I bring up the show, mute it, and minimize it? Does that count? I'm like, I think it does, actually. Because, if it plays in the mute while she's working or off to the side, you just would like minimize it a little bit and let it go. Just to get the watch hours in, to be helpful. And then when I got monetized, see, we couldn't get monetized until 1,000 subs. And 10,000 views or some, I forget what it was. Yeah, it was something like 10,000 views and 1,000 subs in a year. You had to do it in that year, in that calendar year. All right, see you later, man. Yeah, I know. 4:30 comes up real soon. I'm going to get out of here too in a minute. We're almost at an hour and 30 minutes. I'm just going to let it go like 7 more minutes, just to say thanks for stopping in, brother, and just to say I'm getting to an hour and a half of continuous, no serious glitching. That little glitch that I saw, I'm going to watch this back and look for the glitches. One every now and then isn't so bad because it could also be coming from these temperature sensors or whatever. I don't generally run those. They're polling the system and querying it. And that's not a normal task, really. If you put up too many of those things, you can have conflicts. You could even probably blue screen. Well, pretty good test so far. And then I can figure out this audio issue. I'll be done. There's not much else I can do but work on the server when I get it. Get some of the peripherals out of the way. Enjoy my new router. Do a little tweaking and tuning on that for security purposes. I got a couple of cables to make, some jumper cables, a few things I want to do. I want to pop on another lightning suppressor and the 2 trunk lines. I want one in the house, which I didn't. I have to go through the UPS that's in the house. I got to make a little pigtail to come through that lightning and voltage surge suppressor. I'd like to put another one out here because I have it. I have access to it from one of the other lines. Because you never know which way power might come for whatever reason. So that can be done another day. Oh, 4 minutes left. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, everybody left anyway. I'd say we're good since there's nobody here. Let me see if I can put up an outro as a final test within the few minutes that I have left. Let's see. Let's stand by intro spring live, warning, garage, intro music. That might work. Yeah. Let's just try that one. That we don't need on. And it should play. And then playback. When I go to play it back, I'll find out. Right, I think there's another one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. There was another one. And I'll go out with that. Because we got what? A minute, not even like 3 minutes. Not even. Yeah, let's see. Where did I see that? It's not an intro standby. It's not picture in picture. Gotta be. Is it global intro? Magic ATEM live scene setup. Right monitor. Maybe I got rid of it. Let's see. Let me scroll through. While I'm doing that, we can look over here. That's the standby intro. Maybe I got rid of it. Oh no. There it is. All right.